Hey guys, I've got a different video to make today. Um, I'm gonna teach you to use a tool that has been very helpful for me. Right? We know I'm making a game dev studio. First off, look at all the cute. That's Princess. You've seen her before. Mr. Storm doesn't like to come over here and hang out with me uh, while I'm working. He does at night, um, but we know I'm working on a game dev studio. I'm making the video games. What we might not know, I've been messing with computers since the early 90s, but messing with them. I'm pretty good at killing viruses and cleaning everything up and all that, right? Um, Pretty good at finding programs. When the piracy boom happened, I'm not going to say I wasn't involved. There is a pirate flag right behind me. Um, I'm not a programmer. I can't write code. That doesn't mean I haven't already created a game. I scrapped the project. It was going to be a free release on Steam. I scrapped it because there was a situation I couldn't get the title screen to connect. It just didn't want to. Um, so I scrapped that project. I threw it away. It wasn't a big deal anyway. I did what I found out on YouTube. Make a small, simple, stupid game. Don't make the game you want to make. Let me tell you why that's bad advice. If you are making a game and it's not what you want to make, when the stress and the frustration and the hits and you start getting mad, you want to give up. I did. I I seriously considered when I scrapped that project just being done and just going back to the other thing I do, which I'm not going to be talking about on this channel. I thought about doing that. And I was like, the thing about that, I've wanted to make video games since I was a teenager. And as you can see, I'm old, so that's like a long time. I finally discovered that I could. That I was allowed to. Because I thought you had to go to school, this and that, join a company, blah, blah, blah. Start seeing independence. I start seeing YouTube videos, people talking about they didn't even really mess with computers that much before they made a game, and I'm like, now hold on, how? Started looking into it, found out how. Now, there are people that are okay. AAA studios are having AI build them a fake trailer, releasing that, and then the game's nothing like that. I'm not doing that. Not at all. Not ever. Um, there are people that are having AI generate entire games. No, I see how much of a struggle it is to get AI to create art. There's no way I am having an AI generate a game. It'll be just like what the AAA studios release before they spend a year fixing it. No, thank you. I'm good. Um, However, AI is extremely useless or useful. Sorry, slip of the tongue there. Um, it can seem like it's useless if you don't know how to make it do it right. Also, something I've noticed, um, the AI I use it is it's Google Gemini, right? And it's Google based. The programmers that work on Google, a team of them got together, created Gemini. They've done an amazing job. Gemini is really cool. But it also goes based off of all of the knowledge on Google, which is most of human knowledge. Now, if I look on Google, I can find tons of information for, um, let's say, Blender, 2, maybe 3 versions ago. Tons of information. The current version of Blender, there's not as much information on how to use it online. So Gemini does struggle with that a little. Just a little. When you're using older versions of stuff, and there will be videos where you'll see it more because I'll show you me working with Gemini to actually create. Because it doesn't understand the current version of Godot all that well. Godot, Godot, whichever. Now, I have gotten very used to using Gemini, so I'm pretty good at telling it, hey, you're stuck on a system that's not there. Here's the version I'm using. Could it possibly be that our problem is da da da? And it'll kick itself out of the little loop it gets stuck in and work with me. So I want to show you a little bit of, for this video, a little bit of how to make it do what you need it to do. So, we're going to shrink that, make me small. We're going to shrink that, come over here. Alright, I already said I'll be coming to you later with a new topic because I will be making a video with you today. She just says, that sounds great. I'm ready to go whenever you are. Just let me know when you'd like to start the video and we'll dive into the new topic. Okay, so we are on video now. Please generate a piece of concept art. And here's, I want to let you know this. If you are using Google Gemini in Google, like I am, if it's just in the internet browser, if you close that conversation's gone. Does not exist anymore. And when you reopen Google Gemini, you are working with a brand new Google Gemini who has never met you. So, if you leave that tab open, you can continue to work with Google Gemini and it will get to know you, and it will have some memory of, it doesn't have a memory like in a brain, but it may have, if you've talked about it recently, it may have some memory of what you talked about. So here's the thing. Piece of concept art for my shadow and I. Now, this is a game that we are not talking about because, well, me and Gemini are. It's going to be my second released game. It's also going to be my first 3D game. And it's going to be epic. The reason I know it's going to be epic is because I may not know coding, but Gemini does. Gemini can code anything. You just have to tell it the mistakes it has made, and it'll correct them. You keep going like that, and then you run the test for it, and you test it, and you're like, okay, this happened. And you tell Google Gemini that, and it'll write new code to fix it. It's very smart in that way. But I'm just going to say, hey, we're on video now. Please generate a piece of concept art for my shadow and I. It says just a sec. And it's going to take a second. Generating image. Here's some concept art for my shadow and I. Now, she knows what we've talked about, kinda. That's why we've got this image right here. Now, the rest of the image does not at all fit the idea for the game. The shadow itself is a little more wild than I would a little more feminine than I would hope. However, she did just give me a really good idea. The shadow there, because I haven't thought about the shadow in the game having a face. Okay, Gemini. Now you have shown what happens. Oops. That's all on me right there. And understand, I do make mistakes because I work very hard with my brain. So sometimes I make little mistakes like that because I'm working my brain very hard. Now, at the same time, how hard I work it causes me to make less mistakes all the time. Okay, Gemini, you have done a wonderful job. I like, see, I was raised a certain way. Again, I'm old. I am polite, even though it's a AI, it's algorithms and scripting. It doesn't have feelings, but I'm still polite to it. And then that's all I'm gonna say, and it's gonna say something about okay, I'm ready when you are, or something like that, or it's gonna generate another image. I would. There we go. Like to see a basic regular guy in a white t-shirt, some blue jeans, again with the mistakes. Look at that. Let's say Converse. I like Converse shoes, they're pretty cool. Now, I would like to see a basic regular guy in a white t-shirt, some blue jeans, and a pair of Converse, standing and looking at his shadow standing in front of him in a dark horror-like setting, perhaps in the junkyard area, and I want the art style to be as realistic as possible. I want the image to be slightly chilling. I forgot, with a brown leather belt. Okay, now let's see what she does. And we're going to get closer, but we're not going to be there. We're not going to be quite ready yet. I can almost guarantee that. Now, I know there are people out there that the first image they would have gone, this thing's stupid. This is almost perfect, but I would like to see the shadow standing on the ground like it has become solid enough to stand and not go through the ground. Now, this is just concept art. Um, I will more than likely be making most of the art for this myself, other than the the landscapes, the like. Okay, almost there, but the shadow and the man should not have shadows while everything else does. So, as I was saying, this is just um, concept art. This is something for me to base my work off of. Fortunately, the image generation tool not capable of creating an image where the main subject, the man and his shadow, do not cast shadows. Now, it's apologizing for the fact that it can't do it, but the image generator it uses can't do this. So, I will have to figure that out when I create the scene myself. Oh yeah, remove the shadows. No problem, Jim. Please generate me one more, but more creepy. I will just remember to remove the shadows when working on it. Okay. I said more creepy, so let's see. More than likely, she's going to turn the person and the shadow creepy. Because I wasn't clear enough. Oh. I wasn't clear enough to have the shadow standing again. So, this level of creepy is perfect, but can the shadow be standing next to the man again and looking like it is ready to help him? Now, this should give us something a little more what we're looking for. You have to keep giving Gemini instructions. That's just how it works. Generating image. When this is done, when we get the perfect concept art, I'm going to save it. That's a good one. That's very good. I can remove those shadows when I'm working on it. Not a big deal. That's good. Thank you, Jim. That is exactly what I was looking for. I saved it to put in the concept art folder. Now, let's get the downloads thing off the screen because that's just sitting there. And yes, I know you saw a lot of Looperman on there. I get loops and then I create music for the game, and I'll throw a loop in there, 2 loops in there from something I got from Looperman, and then create music around it. It's a really effective way to make game music. Now, what is the best? What are some suggestions you have? I've already got my game engine picked out. It's the one I'm working in now. It's the one I'm going to keep working in till I've got strong enough computers to use Unreal 5. Um, for free open source game engines that would work well for the game My Shadow and I. Now, she's going to give me suggestions. Like I said, I already know which one I'm going to use. I have talked to Gemini at length to make sure that it'll handle it. There it is, right there. Godot engine. That's the one I'm going to be using, and that's the one best for developers who want a powerful and flexible engine with an easy to learn language and a dedicated 2D and 3D environment. Robust 3D engine, its node based architecture is intuitive. Yes, that's why I'm going to use it. G-Develop. Why it's a great fit if you're a beginner and want to create a game without writing a lot of code. G-Develop is an excellent choice. Uses a no-code event-based system that makes it very accessible. You can build game logic by creating simple rules like if the player is in the junkyard, then play the creepy music. This would allow you to focus on the game's story, atmosphere, and visual design. I didn't know about that one at all. G-Develop. That's pretty cool. Defold. Why it's a great fit. Defold is another free and open source engine known for being lightweight and fast. It's a great option for 2D and 3D games and is particularly good for creating games that can be exported to multiple platforms like PC, mobile, and even web browsers. Its visual editor and Lua scripting language are powerful yet straightforward. Best for developers who want a lightweight, high-performance engine for 2D games and are interested in cross-platform publishing. That's pretty neat. So now I have some ideas for other projects, Defold and G-Develop. I didn't know about either one of those. I did know I was going to use Godot until I can use Unreal 5. That's the kind of thing that Gemini is really good at. It's also really good, like I said, at coding. It can write any code you need for anything. Um, and it's going to make mistakes, and so is a human. The difference is, the only difference that I see is if I actually learned to code and I was doing the coding myself, it would take me quite some time to figure out how to fix a mistake that I made. I would have to try this and try that and try this and try that, and sitting here typing out all that code and this and that and the other. If Gemini makes a mistake, I tell Gemini what the mistake is. Gemini rewrites code, writes a new block of code, rewrites the whole damn thing, whatever it needs to do to correct the issue, and it gives it to me. It's like, here you go. This should fix it. Please let me know any errors that pop up. Now, Godot engine is very, very, very particular about indentation, space, tab, all that. It's very picky about it. Godot is a very powerful game engine, but again, indentation, it's really picky about. Sometimes Gemini messes that up. Luckily in Godot there's a very easy fix for that. You go to edit and you tell it replace all indentation with tab, and it corrects it all for you right then and there, and bam, it's fixed. A lot of the times, that's the main error I get getting Gemini to write code, is that the indentation is wrong. That's not a big issue, especially with Godot already having an easy fix for it. So, again, I will not be having uh, Gemini create me an entire game. That's not going to happen. But it does help me a lot in operations of creating games. And on top of that, it's teaching me a lot. And I mean a lot. My art is actually greatly improving because I asked Gemini, how do I, how do I, how do I, and I get good results. And if you tell it I don't have experience with this, please give me step-by-step instructions on how to, it will. It very much will. And it'll give you very distinct instructions. And every now and then, there will be an option it'll tell me to look for in something, and I have no idea where to look for that. All you gotta do is ask. I asked Gemini, oh, okay, you said use shader 3. Where would I find shader 3? And it'll say, oh, look in the right panel. It looks like this. It's generally in this spot on the screen. Da da da. Gemini can teach you a lot. Gemini can help you a lot. Gemini is a little bit like a secretary who doesn't mind doing the work for you. Now, the things that it can't do, it can't open the game engine and do it all itself. It can't build the game. Before you start programming, you have to build. It can't do that. Um, it can teach you how. It can't create the art in a way that it is ready to be used in a game. But if you're making a 2D side-scroller game, or a 2D game of any kind, it can create art that you can clean up, customize, alter, and turn into art that is perfect for your game. So, yeah, I haven't used ChatGPT because the only thing it's got that's free is a little free trial, and you get a certain amount of messages a day and all that. Google Gemini, on the other hand, is 100% free. I can talk to this thing all day, asking it a million questions, and it'll never go, oh, you've reached your limit, talk to me tomorrow. It does have a limit on art generation that I found, because I was getting an entire level ready one day, and I was getting all the art, and I would just da-da-da, 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 got all the art, and then I got down to like one character, and it was like, unfortunately, I cannot generate more art today. I'm sorry about that. We have reached a limit, and we will need to generate the rest of the art tomorrow. And I was like, oh, art generation is where you have a limit. Conversation, text-based? Nah, it'll do that all day. It doesn't care. And there is a subscription. You can do a subscription, and it can do things like make notes for you, things like that, and all. It's really cool what it can do with a subscription. I don't have that subscription. I have $0 to start this company with. So spending money on subscribing to Google Gemini, it's not something I can do. Which is why I'm using Google Gemini. Because there are other stronger AIs that can do it for you. But Google Gemini is free and very willing to do its best to help you. So there's that. My wife is trying to put flea medication on our cat in the background. That's what all that is that you're hearing. Um, which, whatever. Sorry, I have an actual life too. Um, but yeah, so that was the point of this video. Google Gemini can be very helpful. Google Gemini has created most of the art for my first game. Because to be perfectly honest, I'm learning everything. And a big part of what I'm learning, I'm not good at pixel art. I I'm not. I can continue a picture, I can alter a picture, I can edit a picture, I can make it what I want it to be as long as Google Gemini gets close. However, starting from base, I can have the perfect vision of something in my head. If I try to create that in any Krita, Pixelorama, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to create what I want. Gemini can get really close to what I want and I can fix it. 3D art, I'm discovering I'm quite a bit better at that. I need to figure out canvas texture, color, da da da, all that. But just the sculpting in 3D art, I'm perfect at. And, well, I wouldn't say perfect. I'll never be perfect at it. I'll always be learning. But I can create the things I want to create by in the sculpting. I can't make it look like I want it to look in the end product yet. There are a few more things I need Gemini to teach me about texture canvassing and color canvassing. Once I get all that nailed out, you'll know because it will be very soon that I'll be releasing that 3D game, My Shadow and I. Um, Speaking of very soon, the first game, the 2D pixel art side scroller, I'm estimating 2 more months. Not sure it's going to take that long, but that's my estimation for now. And I will be keeping you guys up to date. And I'm making a link tree today because we also have TikTok that I'm on a lot. We have Discord, we have X, we have this, and we have TikTok. I'm going to be linking it all together. Quite possibly going to be making a Reddit and Instagram. All of it will be in the link tree. And yeah, that's what we're doing. Um, I look forward to being able to share the madness that's in my head with all of you. I look forward to creating these games, releasing them, putting low prices on them, and going, here you go, sharing it with the world. So, yeah. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching all of this video if you did. As a matter of fact, give me just a minute. Without the intro, just this, we are at 39.5 minutes. If you stuck around this long, thank you. Thank you very much. And please comment, still here.